So speaking of novels, are you reading something right now?
Yes, right now I'm reading a novel. I was about to mention. Where is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
go
far
ahead.
from. So the title is actually I'm just looking at my mini collection. It's not a lot, that's why I call it mini because there are just below 10 books that I bought when I was a teenager. That's all I have here. And I prefer to read books that I can hold instead of audio. No, not
Oh.
audio. Instead of e-books because I
Mm-hmm.
tend to get distracted if I use my mobile or my laptop. So all I have here are teenage novels like Twilight stuff, like Idol. They're all about Hollywood. Remember the books that I like back in college that I bring? Yeah, they're all
I
about
don't remember
this.
you sharing that in
Really,
college.
the stories mostly, the stories mostly are about teenager wanting to be a superstar, something like
Right.
that. So anyway, the good thing is I found a book that interested me right now. It's called Coco's Secret. So Coco is a antique shop seller, and she found a cabinet that inside it has a Chanel bag. You know me, I love no, I love Chanel bag even though I don't have one. I'm dreaming of having one. So anyway, inside the Chanel bag that's inside the antique wardrobe, it has a letter, a love letter. So her mission now is to find out who owns the love letter. Maybe it's
to
Coco Chanel.
to the
Yeah, I don't
previous
know.
owner?
Frankly, yeah, the previous owner who is
Mm.
also a boutique owner in Paris. So it's interesting for me. All my
It
favorites
is.
are in that. It's
I think
Coco's Secret.
I've read a similar book that also
Really?
involves letters. I think it's
Letter?
what's the title of that? Dash and wait, hold on. I'm gonna
Dash and Dine? Sorry. I just snorted on live.
Dash and wait, I'm gonna refer to my bookshelf because
Hard?
it's also a paperback novel.
Dash and Carden?
Dash and
Card.
no wait.
Yes.
Oh here. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares
Oh, wait, I know that.
by
Yeah,
by
I saw that. Yeah.
David Levitan and
Love that.
another author. Yeah. So I read
Wait, I
that
know
book.
that. I know that. I mean, or I was thinking of something else. I think that was Elliot's kissing list, rather. It's not a list of theirs, it's a kissing list. Okay, that
So
was different.
it's also the same by the same author.
No, it's almost
Oh,
the same title, but
this
different. So never mind.
this is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. It's similar also
Book of
because
theirs.
it's a I think it's a book where they write something like it's a dare. They write the
Mm-hmm.
dare on the book, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much of it. But they found love while
When was the last time you
exchanging
read it?
2012.
Oh, really? That's too old. I
So
was just reading mine right now. So
so there's a book of dares, and they exchange and they do the dares, and then once it's done, the other gets it, and in the end, they met and they fell in love, and
mm.
it. I just found out now that it has a second book. There's a sequel.
Oh.
So
I love finding out that the book I loved reading has a sequel or
yeah,
prequel. You
yeah,
know, so at least you won't stop reading your favorite. Whereas
that's
if
true.
the book is just one publication or what do you call, just one,
It's a
just
standalone.
one. Yeah, it's a standalone.
It's a
I feel like
standalone.
I don't want to end the book, or
Oh
I don't
really?
want to end reading the book because I don't want to end it
But what's
because
good
after
about
that.
that? What's good about that, I think, is that it's going to be a happy ending. It's not
Oh,
going to be a
oh, just
cliffhanger.
like in the movie.
It's not going to be a cliffhanger where you have to wait for the
To
sequel.
wait for the release,
Yes,
or
to
yeah,
get to the
a good point.
conclusion.
But the feeling of I don't want to end reading the book because what's next? I
That's
mean,
true. Yes. And at the same
you
time, you want to
already,
know
yeah.
how
At
it
the same
ends.
time, the struggle.
Yeah,
Like
definitely. In
which
almost all
one?
my books.
Mm-hmm.
And what I hate about cliffhangers is that when you're already up to date, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, the book was just released and you already read it, and the sequel
Mm-hmm.
is going to be months and months later, or sometimes a year
Oh,
later. That
that
sucks.
you
That
lose
feeling sucks.
interest.
Because I read this quartet, as they call it, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a
Four.
four planned books.
Okay.
So I read the first two books,
Mm-hmm.
which the first one ends with a cliffhanger. The second one does not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a duet. And then the third book came out.
Ah.
So I was kind of trusting the author to not leave me hanging on the third book because it didn't the second book didn't leave me hanging. So I read
But
third book. It turns out it's worse than the first book in terms of cliffhanger.
oh,
Gosh, that ending. And also I read the book through an audiobook, so it's
I
great.
think I think you love reading audiobooks and not reading, listening instead of reading the actual text.
Well, I like
Which
it.
do you enjoy more?
It
Hearing
depends.
or reading
You know
or
what's
touching the
weird?
actual book?
What's weird is that I do both at the
Oh,
same time. So I listen to the audio, and at the same
while
time
reading it?
I have the ebook and I follow it.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird, right? I'm weird that way.
No, it's very efficient
Yeah, but
because in case you didn't get
yeah.
wait, isn't that confusing somehow?
Well, sometimes the script of the audiobook is different from, just a word or two from the
Mm,
printed one, but it's not confusing. It's not. It's still the same. So what's different about that is there's no element of surprise.
mm-hmm.
Like what's this person going to say? What's how's that person going to respond? So I already know
Oh.
because you see the text. You can go straight ahead. So I have to stop doing that when I'm listening to an audiobook because you
Okay.
know, it removes the fun. And that last one that I listened to is narrated by Shane East because it's
Of
about
course.
the hero is a British guy, so a British billionaire.
Oh, the usual.
Yeah,
Ah, British
and
billionaire.
there's a dark vibe on it. It's called Revenge by Laurelyn Page.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the third book. It's Revenge. The first two I read through an ebook. So the first one is called Ruin. Second one is Rivalry, and the third is Revenge. And the fourth one, which is going to come out in May, too long.
In May.
It's too
May
long.
is already next month, though. Wow,
I
it's
think it's
April already.
at the end
1 month
of the
long.
month, like 20 something.
Mm.
So it's still a long wait. And that
Good time.
cliffhanger. Oh, so yeah, and the fourth one is called Rising. So I hope it's a happy ending because yeah, it's an enemies to lover romance, which is one of my favorite
Enemies to
tropes
lover.
with a dark twist of some sort.
There's killings.
Yes.
Oh, as usual.
It's kind of an under the table negotiation stuff going on in
But
there.
do you get kilig whenever you read
Of
and
course.
you keep reading the same line again and again?
Well, what's good about it is, even if it's the same line again and again, you still get the
Mm-hmm.
same feeling.
Oh,
Because the characters are different, the situations are different, so they still manage to make me cry some most of the time. And
So you
there's I
cry.
do a lot. So,
Really?
especially when the guy and the girl figured things out, and it's always been
It's a
you.
happy ending. It's
Or
you. It's you all along.
yeah,
Oh, I know.
there's this book that I read. It's called Leo by Mia Sheridan, where the heroine says, "I choose you," and oh my gosh,
Hmm.
that was good. And then there are authors that make me ugly cry. So there are authors that make me just tear up a bit, and there are authors that make me ugly cry, which I hate
Which you hate. Why?
because I tend to
It's
read
good
my
because if it's ugly, cry.
I
It's
tend to read
effective.
it in public when I'm
Um.
commuting. So there are people watching. And then I come upon this chapter that's yeah, my latest experience on that when my tears really fell really bad
Mm.
is when I listened
Mm.
to the audiobook um for just 1 year by Penelope Ward. And yeah,
Wait, I think yeah, just one. Oh no, that was
just
just
one
one day.
oh
It's a
yeah,
different one.
it is. It's about a guy who is British.
Mm.
So you know who narrated that. It's
British.
it's Shane.
Of course,
It's
it's always British.
it's Chinese. So the hero in the story is an exchange student from Britain. So
Mm-hmm.
he lives in the heroine's house during the exchange student thing. So, naturally they fell in love and
Of course, they
the
do, as all do, as
yeah.
how it should be. Love.
But the guy had to leave because his one
Why?
year is over. It's just a 1 year program because he's an exchange student. So, he had to go back, and yeah, that's why it's called just 1 year, because he's staying in the US for just
For
one
just
year.
1 year.
Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, and the guy, spoiler. I don't know if it's spoiler, but the guy before he left some letters addressed to the girl, like
Mm.
dear, you dear girl, blah 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 blah, and it's so 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 touching. Oh my gosh, it made me cry so hard.
How long is the letter? That's the question. Is
How
it
long? Quite long, quite a bit, because he told his story. There's some depth to the guy. He's not just fun and games. He has this, I don't know, emotional baggage. So he
mm.
shared that with the girl. That's why it's emotional. Yeah, I'm
So how many
fangirling.
did you mention?
I I don't know. That was what I
That
was
was
going to say.
way more than the
The guy.
celebrity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was
See,
that was what I was going to say. I am fangirling over the books that I've read.
instead of the actual people.
So there's Dash and Lily, the four books of Laura Lynn Page,
Yeah, so that's five already. Kidding.
Penelope Ward, uh, Leo. So that's seven, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
7 books, three guys.
And wait, that sounds like a trailer. 7 books. Three
Seven
guys,
books.
woman. Who's gonna be? Who's it gonna be? 7 books, three guys.
But have you read? I have a recommendation for you that I think you should
Okay.
read. But I don't know if you've read this. Have you read The Selection by?
Girl, I have read the entire series
Yeah,
and also the prequel. Oh god, I'm in love with Maxon. Wait, are you reading it
yeah.
right now or have
No,
you read it or
I've read everything, so
oh
don't worry about
god,
it.
the selection.
But I
Like
don't know if
America.
our listeners have. I don't know if our listeners have listened to it. So, oh, listened rather,
Or read.
read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's not give too much away.